Okay, so I have a finished version of the wall object right here. You can see all the windows are done using the same technique, just extruding those windows and the window sills that belong to them, just to get this detail done. Okay. Now, one last thing. Right now, this object is not very clean in terms of geometry. It may look pretty clean here inside of Softimage, but in reality, it's not. Okay, and that's because of our topology. Now, with polygons, there's basically three types of polygons. There's triangle polygons, which are polygons that are three-sided. There are, and let me show you an example of that. If I come over here, I actually have a triangle right here. This is a triangle. It's got three sides. Pretty simple. Now, there's also quads. Quads have four sides to them, and a quad is, like, for example, a polygon that makes up this window right here. It has four sides. And then the third type of polygon is something called an n-gon, and an n-gon has more than four sides. So it could be 5 sides, it could be 20 sides, who knows? It could be anything above 4. Okay, so you got triangles, quads, and n-gons. Alright? Now, triangles and quads can go into a game engine pretty easily without a problem. However, n-gons are going to be a bit of a problem. Okay? Game engines usually don't like n-gons, and they could be a problem. Alright? So what happens is, the idea here is to take this object, export it using the FBX file format, and get it into the game engine. All right. When you do that, however, if you have any n-gons, the game engine during the export process, exporting will automatically triangulate any n-gons it finds on the object. So just because the object looks like this here in Softimage doesn't mean it's going to look like this when we take it over to a game engine. All right, and that could be a problem. So what we need to do is we need to control triangulation. It's going to happen whether you like it or not. Alright? So the best way to control this is by doing it ourselves inside of our 3D animation package, in this case, Softimage. Alright? Now, where are the n-gons? Well, it's pretty simple. In Softimage, you can actually select the n-gons. If you come up here to the select portion of the MCP, click on Polygon, and then click this little drop-down list here, and you can actually select n-gon from the list. Okay? And then what you want to do is select the entire object, and if there's any n-gons found on the object, they will become highlighted in red. Okay, so we can see it, we have them selected. So this strip, this polygon over here on the right is an n-gon, this one's an n-gon. I think you get the idea. These n-gons that you see here are going to be triangulated by the exporting process into the game engine, and that could be a problem. So in order to get predictable results when we go to the game engine, and you don't end up looking at this object in the engine and saying, hey, you know, what's wrong here? This mesh is all messed up. What we need to do is triangulate it here. So I'll select these polys that you see here, these n-gons. I'm going to come over here to the model menu set, go under modify, click on polymesh. I'm going to go down to triangulate. And that's going to triangulate all those n-gons, and you'll end up with something that looks like this. Now, this doesn't look as clean as what we had before, okay? Obviously, it looked nicer before. It was cleaner. We didn't have all these crisscrossing edges all over the place. But essentially, this is what would happen in the game engine anyway. And it's better that you triangulate the mesh here and get something predictable, okay? Because the mesh didn't change. It still looks the same. If I deselect it and I don't look at a wireframe and I look at this mesh, nothing happened to it. It's still exactly the same as it was before. The only difference is those n-gons were triangulated because n-gons are no good. So when we take this to the engine, now that it's already triangulated, the engine doesn't have to triangulate it again. The exporting process doesn't have to touch the mesh. So what you see here is what you're going to get in engine, and you're not going to get any nasty surprises. Okay, if that makes sense. Right, so now that it's triangulated, it's good. We're pretty much done with this object. So I'm going to end this video here, and in the next one, we're going to look at another example of creating detailed, low-resolution, in-game real-time assets.